Why do you think it was so important to be there, to be at the shop, to be at the parties, as opposed to being on the Instagram account?
Ah, it is like two different worlds. One is real. The 90s was real. The Liquid Sky was like a place that we embrace people, meaning everybody feel welcome. And nothing compares with you being in the place and relating to someone else and understanding the environment, the colors, the feelings, everything. And nothing can replace that.
What's the shop?
So,
What's the shop right now?
and
What is it right now? What
what do you
who's the
mean?
tenant in Liquid Sky now?
I'm not sure. It's being there was a lot of turnouts and then there was closed for maybe years. I'm not sure. Someone told me that someone was taking the building, but I don't know. I have no idea.
Do you ever walk over just to check it out, or you stay away?
Once in a while, no. I don't have those kind of nostalgia. I want to see. I want to see my daughter open a shop. I want to see
Yeah,
someone open
yeah.
something different and a place to hang out because the idea is we need place to hang out no matter what age. So their age needs places to hang out. They don't have places to hang out. They go to parties, they flash mob parties for 2 hours and they leave. They don't have places to, you know. So Liquid Sky was a place to hang out. So to see, you don't have to buy. That's the beauty of Liquid Sky. Was like a place uh, to just to meet and greet, check stuff. There was no obligation. There was nothing. You can sit, listen to music, meet people. And if you give a chance and wait for a minute, you're gonna see another friend coming in, or someone, or a DJ that you admire, or a companion. You always have something, another something to exchange information, and yeah, it was pretty hot. There's nothing like, yeah, and the internet is just like you need to hunt people. Uh, you know, like say you have a show. I'm not promoting your show. I have a T-shirt. Nobody's promoting my T-shirt. The it became a loose thing that eventually someone would check it out. It's nothing. It's nothing like why I should go there, why I should go see that. I have so much stuff going on, so much information every second. It's just like for you to stand out, you gotta be start doing a lot of there's a lot of gimmicks, tricks, and even when you stand up, what do you have? You just have a click a page with some colors and stuff. It's not real, you know.
Yeah, when I was thinking about it, at first, like the thought is because I've been to the shop. I lived in New York briefly in the late '90s, like '97 to '01. So
Okay,
I'm from Miami, but
okay.
Liquid Sky made it down there for sure, and I would
Oh
see
no,
it
my
out.
boy. Oh, my boy has an Area 51 shop over there. He would to resell Liquid Sky in Miami.
Yes, was that the one on Washington?
I think so. Area 51 was like
Yes,
alien kind of alien joint.
yes, that's where I
Rave.
got your clothes. Okay, we're gonna get to that. Yes, I was around during that time. Okay, so Liquid Sky made it down to Miami. So as soon as I got to New York, I had to make pilgrimage over there. And it was like you
Okay.
said, I didn't feel pressured to buy, but I felt like I was at a hub of sorts. And I just think I could flash back to that right now. It's a very imprintable memory. And I was thinking about, you know, for people that were around that time, the idea of having to be there was very important. This concept of doing the work, finding where the place is, and embedding yourself in a cultural environment was critical to the lifestyle. It was critical to um, kind of understanding and taking and participating in in some type of cultural movement or just a scene in general. And sometimes I push back against that idea in that people are doing that on the internet as well. But there's something about seeing somebody, there's something about being there and seeing a stranger who just is fly and they just have great style and they're just bringing something different. And you may not know them and you might not ever see them again, but you're interacting in a certain way. And I feel like that is lost um, in social media. And again, you can have video clips on social media, you can have a photo on social media, but like you that's very fabricated. It's not
Right.
a
And
natural
they're gonna
swagger.
go to the next, yeah, and they're gonna go to the next level of fabrication that's gonna be all virtual. And I'm gonna be next to you and believe that I'm, talking to you closer. But in fact, there's something it is losing something in the translation for sure. Yeah.
Yes. And that was so cool about rave culture or party culture, whatever, however you want to call it. Like that was the coolest thing, is that mix of style, that kind of very subversive sense of style. And I want to get to the clothing too, but let's stick on this for a while. It was like of its own, like going into like a party, it was like its own planet, where it was like it was this very kind of you almost like a revolt against society. It was almost like this ideal that you were stepping into and taking a part of and participating in. That
Yeah,
was what was so cool.
was a utopia. Was a
Very
utopia.
much so.
For a minute, we build a little uh, today they say safe space, but that wasn't really the it was a space that people felt that they could be they could exist, they could, and people are young, so they could be themselves, and that's just the most important thing. It's just like be there, play. It was, you know, uh, it just was, yeah, because we came, Liquid Sky, and the whole I think the whole rave movement came influenced by the Summer of Love, which basically is a revisitation of the hippie Summer of Love, Woodstock. And then when you go back to the Summer of Love, you understand that they were anti-war, they were like a free society, and they were influenced too from other movements and other movements. When you go back, like I when I start, I wasn't I wasn't into fashion. I was a my background is veterinary. I was a veterinarian, finished veterinary medicine in Brazil, and know a lot about animal nutrition, and now a little bit of human nutrition. And when I met my future wife Claudia, I was doing a cow cream in a laboratory trying to do a milkman protective cosmetic, and I went to learn how to do that. And in the process, I learned how to do cosmetics, and uh, we went to a whole new direction. But my background was uh, very. Uh, I grew up learning all kinds of arts, theater, music. I have like a great youth in Brazil. Really good education, good people, and I felt that that was the mission to put this utopia together. And when I learned fashion a little bit, I went to because we met Vivian Westwood in '88. Claudia, my wife at the time, she was very into fashion, and she started working with her help assistant. And Vivian Westwood actually was kind of broke at the time. She was ex Malcolm McLaren.
Uh-huh.
Uh, she was very famous in '88, but she was broke.
Right.
86, 87, something like that. And I went to study, say, what is this punk movement? What it was. So I learned that they were influenced by the 60s too, the situationists in the 60s. That was parallel to the hippies, but they were like more political engaged. And then I learned that they were connected with Dada in the 70s, 1914s.
Hmm.
They were anti-war movement between wars and poets
Hmm.
and everybody get together in a bar in this cabaret. There was like homeless and prostitutes and
Hmm.
high priests, whatever. There was like a mix. And that's the beginning of club culture because it is the bohemian artist that start, getting together and playing stuff. But the kids, this translating to the kids is a totally different story because, you know, in a cabaret Voltaire and in all the stuff, you have drugs, you have alcohol, and in the kids you have no alcohol. So I thought that the rave scene was an evolution of all those centuries of gathering of people, you know, and we're teaching kids how to be cool, to interact. Here's your party. You can play, you can meet people. There's no prejudice, there's nothing. So it was in a way futuristic, but it was in a way ancestral because those parties happen forever. We
Yeah.
just it's just a I think if an alien comes to the planet, they see the same ritual all the time, all the way. So you gotta just have to have a better ritual, a better, more love to the, and that's it.
It felt very, as a like a teenager in the early 90s, it felt like a whole new frontier. It didn't feel like going to concerts, it didn't feel like going to art fairs. It didn't feel like anything else. And it felt like it was kind of building from there. Like it's very, like you see raves now, you see clubs now, it's all formed. It's very firm in what it is. It felt like it couldn't be defined back then, which is what was so alluring to it.
Yeah, because there was the underground, and still there is still underground stuff. The question is, uh, what we like was the underground, was the defiance, was the to say it in a place that we broke some laws,
For sure.
human laws, legal. There's legality. That's what I mean. Underground means there's a feeling that, like when I used to go to Save the Roberts for the New York City, that have too this kind of feeling because you have this. I remember in the late '80s, early '90s, Save the Roberts. I used to go to Save the Roberts. It was a illegal club, and there's a door, and there's nobody at the door, and the doorman open and check on you and let you in or not. That kind of stuff make you. It is a world that you're not accustomed to. So it is a brand new world. And so what happened to rave is the same thing. It's just brand new. We're gonna explore warehouse. There's DJs. They play techno and they play rave music. I never heard this. This is so So there's this mystery and this nuances that people feel excited to be there. You know, and comparing to buy a ticket on a show and you have the ticket in your place that you stay and you sit and you dance, whatever. It's a totally different experience. Oh no, where are we gonna do? Where are we gonna sit? I don't know. Sit here in the floor, here.
Yeah.
This corner is good. Okay, let's smoke a joint. So
Yes.
there's this more like almost like in a family affair. Like you were like, you know, the, we are like together in this place, hanging out, chilling.
Yeah.
So we feel more connected, more united, and at the same time, there's no alcohol, which is a beautiful thing.
I liked that. I preferred that. It was good for me because I was underage. So I started going, I think like my first like rave experience, I was like 14 and I was hooked immediately. And I didn't drink. I did other stuff, which was great. But that was what was cool about going to these places because, in Miami, a lot of the places that were doing those types of parties first were the gay clubs. And they
Oh
would
no,
allow underage
absolutely.
They would allow
Absolutely,
the
because
kids who were
the
underage.
whole underground scene start
Yes.
in the gay clubs. I mean, house music or disco. You know, I used to go in Brazil. I mean, I'm a DJ. So
Yeah.
in Brazil, my first disco experience was when I was 17. It was forbidden for me to get in. So I got to have a fake ID in Brazil to get in this disco club. And it hooked me up in the same moment. I look inside and say, that's it. This is amazing.
So much fun.
There was,
I was hooked immediately.
yeah, there was TVs and there was
Yeah.
disco balls, and I see Stephanie Mills and Michael Jackson, and you
Amazing.
know, yeah, it is music. No, music is amazing. I love music, but dance music has something about dance music that, and then on the rave scene was the evolution because I saw the evolution of things. So the rave scene was the evolution of music
For sure.
and attitude too, the attitude, you know,
That was a big part of it too. That attitude,
right.
and also that mix, like the style that everybody picked up. Like a lot of that stuff was not like you didn't know unless you saw it there. It's like, oh, that's what people are doing. And also, like, where did that person get that shirt with that alien wearing the headphones? Like, where do you get that? Like how, like that whole sense of that feedback that you got with those people, with the crowd, that was very special and it was very informative too. That mix of styling too, and that mix of also regional styles. Like every city, you see that like people who go to the people who go to clubs and shows and parties, they all have a different type of style. But and you pick up certain things, and even dance styles, and even like music
Oh yeah,
styles.
yeah,
That's
and
what was
fashion
so
too.
cool. Yeah.
Everything, everything.
Um. But yeah, the no alcohol thing was huge because then the kids could actually get in, which was
Right.
huge.
Exactly. And this is like that's and that's why is a reverberation on the 60 on the peace, love, and unity. But
Yeah.
on the same time, there wasn't heavy drug, there wasn't cocaine, there wasn't alcohol, there wasn't this attitude, that could generate fights or generate tense. It was a totally different. It was totally love, peace, love, unity, and good music
There
and
was
joy.
that, but in Miami there was some thuggish stuff. There was like some pretty thuggish
Yeah, but
dealers in some of these places.
the question is exactly. But the question is, every scene start, let's say, pure. Let's
Yes.
and then people come and try to violate, and that's what happened in America.
Yeah.
The American scene became pimps and hoes,
Yes.
trying to peace and love.
And drug addicts. I mean, a lot of people became, I started seeing a lot more. And by the way, I mean, I definitely enjoyed my time with designer drugs. Don't get me wrong, but you would actually see like real drug, like, and I'm not trying to judge anybody. You don't know what they're going through, but you see people that were there just purely for the drugs,
Oh yeah,
which is fine, and that's their experience. But as somebody that
I
that
was.
that was there for other reasons, to
But what I'm
participate in
saying
the
is
scene.
what I'm saying, the rave scene started in 88. So when he arrived in America strongly was after 91.
Yeah.
So there's this gap between, and there was the reinterpretation of the rave here. So, and the rave here passed through the clubs, and
Yes.
that's my point.
Yes.
When you get to the clubs focus in different things. The crowd is a little different and have this all this influence.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then when we came back to the warehouse, all those guys came back. All those guys say, "Oh, I'm gonna go follow those kids."
Yeah.
So really, that's what happened. And probably there was infiltration too. I'm not whatever. There was kind of, I mean, there was kind of all kind of stuff. I see a lot of different situations that I saw changing through the scene through the 90s and became more EDM, like I call, it was more underground, was
Right. Just seemed like it became more of a like it was more of a it felt as you know as an audience member and a fan and a member of the culture, it just seemed more like things were set, like it got almost packaged, even coming from record labels.
Oh yeah, because by the end of the 90s, we are changing mediums too. We are stop selling CDs and start people start getting to MP3s and downloads, and that changed the industry too. You know,
Even the turntable went away for a while, right?
for at least 10 years, it went away.
Yeah, that was a big part of it too. You had to bring those records wherever you went, so that kind of weeded through the people that wanted to jump in quick, the
Right.
opportunists. You had to really lug around a lot of records for as a DJ, I imagine. Like,
Not only that, you have to really to listen to many hours of records before,
yeah.
so you have your set of records that will fit in this. Will be updated every week. We will update the set.
So
So,
so this leads me back. I want to talk about the clothes for a little bit because that was such a big part of it too. The style, not just like a trend thing, but the
no, it still
style.
is.
Yeah. So I didn't know that Vivienne Westwood was involved. That's amazing.
No,
That
no,
makes so
Vivian
much
West,
sense.
but no, she never involved.
Meaning
Claudia worked.
influenced. Meaning
Yeah,
had.
influence.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, influence. Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
So how did that?
Absolutely.
How did you make the jump from we're musicians and DJs to we're gonna make clothes?
Well, we are making clothes already in Brazil
Were the
because
clothes first?
since '88.
Were the clothes
Well, no,
first?
we did clothes first and music. Actually, I am a, I mean, I play guitar since 6, 7 years old. I did festivals when I was young and played bossa nova, protest songs from whatever. We are
Incredible.
we are in Brazil. We were like a rough time. We have the military occupations from 1964, and we became so-called democracy in '85. So from '64 to '85, we have military government, different military governments, non-elected by the people. So I was playing protest songs in Brazil and whatever. So I will play and compose music since I was really young. I got prizes in Brazil when I was 11 and in a big festival with big guys, and I was 11 and I won a festival. But so I was doing music and I was doing DJ, but I started DJing 86 in 1986 seriously, and because Claudia she was a model into the fashion, and she knew how to sew, cut and sew. We are influenced by Dapper Dan at the time
Mm-hmm.
with the logos and stuff. And she did a line called Copy Game, which was Chanel and Gucci together, CG,
Uh-huh.
called Copy Game in Brazil, start selling with along Vivienne Westwood clothes. And we have a barber shop. This is in Brazil.
Yeah.
And we sell cosmetics too. We have like the first men's cosmetic line, makeup in Brazil, because it was a project for a couple of friends that they asked for a rock group, and we produced that.
Cool.
So I started learning cosmetics too. But and I was DJ. So when we moved to to New York City in '89, I stopped the makeup because I was afraid the FDA.
Mm-hmm.
My pigments were wearing FDA approved.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, this because it was fluorescent and glow in the dark.
Uh-huh.
I was using some different pigments. So I was afraid, so I stopped doing this and say, no, let's just sell records and fashion. So we had the record, fashion, a small bar. We sold furniture, sold accessories, and we have like a second floor, like a because it was like a high ceiling. So we have like a place that people could perform, like a stage in the weekends. So people do live music in the weekends. That's how it started.
Incredible. So how did you get to where you're making jeans? Because that's not easy to make. How did you get to where you're making actually like cut and sew things?
Well, like I say, Claudia was a fashion entrepreneur. She knew everything. She knew how to cut and sew, and she herself designed the pants, the so-called beeper pockets.
Right.
Yeah.
When you had all the different, that's right. You had the pocket along the front, and you had, I mean, they were very, it was very specific. Where you would just find a factory and just manufacture them themselves? You would just get those
No,
manufactured?
no. The first one she did by herself on a sewing machine,
Wow.
and then we start selling. That was Broome and Worcester was our first shop, and
Yes.
then we found a place in California to do small batches, and we started doing there in California.
And what was the how did you come across the style of like the like and the like the hem, the fit of the pants specifically? Like how did you fall upon that? Like that was so specific back in the day.
What do you mean? The feet or the pants?
The big pants, like that was like such a big
Well,
thing.
the big pants is a claw is my partner idea. It's she's so close to the fashion. What I'm saying is that this is 91, right? Claudia was working with Vivienne Westwood, and I mean, she's been working fashion since the late 70s, meaning it didn't come out. I mean, we should ask her how she come up with the. I was just a model actually. She told me that she would fit on me the pants on me to
Uh-huh.
see if
Yeah.
it was proper. I was the medium size of her, but when she did the thing was because we were using beeper pockets.
Yes.
So she created this fucking deeper pockets, but the whole style of pants, it's her idea to be because she didn't like baggy pants.
Uh-huh.
The baggy she thought was the most horrible shape ever.
Yeah.
She thought she was to do a big straight leg.
Yeah.
And then all those ideas of loops and stuff is hers, her fashion mind.
Iconic.
We coming with the book is going to show a lot of different things.
Yeah, and I want to know about that book. What was the sourcing? Like, how long has this been in the works? Has it been a while? How did
We've
it
been
start?
working for the last 2 years. We've been working for the last 2 years. A guy called Mark Santo from Seattle. He has a publishing company called Emperor Go. He approached us. So he asked me for whatever I have for archive. So we start putting together. I have like, I've been saving stuff from Facebook, from whatever. Start sending to him all the stuff. My sister Ruth she's a video maker, so she document the whole thing since the beginning.
You have video archives of the
Yes,
heyday of Liquid Sky?
yes.
Wow. Do you post those anywhere?
I post on my Instagram sometimes on
I've
Liquid Sky
seen
NYC.
those. Yes, I've seen those, but do you have like real deep archives of video?
My sister has deep archives of everything.
Wow. So
Yeah.
there were people with cameras back in the 90s, like at the shop and stuff like that?
Still, like my sister is a video maker, one of the early video makers in the world, actually.
Wow.
She's like a early, late 70s video maker. My
Wow.
father gave a camera to her, and she kept replacing and video editing since then. She contributed to MTV Brazil since the beginning.
Wow.
She have a style that people in the beginning bash her and back on the day, and now everybody do the same camera movements, meaning kind of aleatory, kind of fuck up and shit like that.
Uh-huh.
At that time was like, oh, what you doing? Like, camera movements have to be like whatever, have. And I mean, she was ahead in many different things, editing. So yeah, she been working video since the beginning, so she document everything.
My daughter recently asked me, she's always asking me for photos of when I was a kid, and I'm like, there what I don't really have. I have maybe four of when I was like in my teens. We weren't walking around with cameras, we weren't videotaping ourselves.
I don't have myself a lot of
Right.
the age. The 90s, I refuse actually. I used to avoid cameras.
Right.
We didn't like cameras.
No.
We didn't like to share anything.
No.
I
No.
didn't like to share a picture on Instagram that I was totally not actually anti-underground.
I cringe over that. Like I always am like, I don't post like I'm
we
not a
live in a
selfie guy.
crazy time that people share everything that they are suffering, that they're crying. I mean, it's just crazy. It's
Yeah,
just absurd.
and you see raves and you see clubs and everybody has their phone out, which is bizarre. Because the whole part was to be there that night, can't be replaced, soak in it. That was like a big part of it, like if you weren't there, like you can't be there. It was like a
But
like
guess what? I see in the future and today parties will be like that too. The
yeah,
most underground parties, people going to be restrictive. There's some clubs that remove the phones in the entrance, but it got to be. There's going to be more even underground. More people.
yeah. So
And people.
do you still DJ or you're not into going out late
Yes,
at night? You do?
a little, a little. I'm
Yeah,
I'm going to play for karaoke on March 14th on a club here in Brooklyn.
that's awesome. Jungle?
Yeah. Yes, drum and bass jungle.
Drum and bass and jungle made it down to South Beach in Miami. Heavy.
Yeah.
Was
Oh
that a New
yeah.
York influence?
Uh, Well, a little bit, but a little bit in Miami too.
Yeah.
You have a 1200. You have
Yes.
those people in Florida that
Yes.
they were into breakbeat a
Big
lot.
break beat.
Florida.
Big break
So
beat.
I think that because drum and bass, it was the evolution. There was NASA 91, 92 break beats, and then by 93, by the middle 93, there was already jungle because
Mm-hmm.
they break up the bass line
Mm-hmm.
change for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
What
mean,
happened?
I mean, they say jungle starts in 91 or 90, but this format starting late 93,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
What's your
the
favorite era?
format that,
What was your favorite era of the 90s
oh,
for Liquid Sky?
my favorite era is the beginning of jungle, 94, 95.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
I went to Japan. Well, I went to London in 94. I met all the Sour crew. I produced a lot of different music over there at Trinity Studios. And then I went 95 to Japan and we toured 14 cities from Sapporo to Fukuoka
Wow.
with DJ Trace, T-Power, Shy FX, UK Apache. Yeah, the whole crew, the whole London crew
Incredible.
opening jungle music in Japan. Yes,
Yeah.
that was pretty hot.
And how far out did like from the shop, were people ordering from around the world? Were you shipping out around the world?
Yes, to today.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yes,
Did you get the name Liquid Sky from the movie?
yes.
Nice.
And
And then
I met Slava Zuckerman.
was
It's
he a
my
fan?
idol.
Was he a fan of the music?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We met. I went to his apartment. I met him and his wife. We have like tea for the afternoon. I took a picture of his prop of the UFO prop.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's amazing. It's a whole full cycle we did. You know,
Did you keep a lot of the flyers and stuff? Do you have like a lot of that stuff in storage?
I have digital copies, which is going to be in the book. Some of them,
Cool.
not towards some.
That's another
Yeah.
thing that I kind of miss. That flyer culture. There was some amazing artwork on some of these flyers that you would just be handed outside of clubs. way gone. Early
Yeah.
digital artwork, all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
I've been really trying to find somebody that actually kept an archive and collected
Oh
them.
no, there's many. There's play. You'll find.
Yeah,
But they try to sell for very expensive money now.
yes. Because I mean, like it was stuff that, is tossed away or thrown in the gutter or littered on the street, but to keep that is such a relic of that time. It's so
Some
funny how
people
that
save
works out.
some people save a lot of flyers. There's a lot of collectors and a lot of it's a whole market now of flyers.
Yeah, I have some, but I don't have a lot of them. And I remember like a lot of them were so good.
I have some too. I have some hard copies of mine ones that some important ones maybe if but I was missing you move so many times you lose a lot of things. I lost a container of a whole room in Phoenix, Arizona of records, maybe 5,000 albums.
Yeah, you know what? We skirted that. What brought you to Phoenix? Was it just a lifestyle change?
No, the mother of my daughter lives there, and
Hmm.
we stayed there for almost 3 years. Yeah.
What was that like? Did you like Phoenix?
Well, I like it because I work with a lot of good people. I met a lot of good people there. So I produced, I remix Ministry.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was pretty hard. And I saw a lot of UFOs.
Did you?
So it
I
was good.
wasn't. I was in Sedona not too long ago. Arizona's
Oh,
awesome.
it's beautiful. It is
Yeah.
really special. Yeah.
You like being back in New York. You feel like it's your home.
I think Brooklyn is my home in a way.
Yeah.
And downtown New York City is my home.
Yeah.
East Village, Lower Side, I feel home there.
And you never walk past the old store?
See, I passed maybe once or twice, maybe, yeah, that was closed. I saw it. Just like, there's some people that want to, we've been I've been talking to people that want to open Liquid Sky
Yeah.
till today, but we didn't arrive in agreements, economic agreements. But, like, it's, because my vision of Liquid Sky is not that commercial. That's the problem with when I try to approach people to buy the idea to invest in the shop. You know, that aspect, the commercial aspect, people. I want a place that people want to come inside and hang out.
Yeah.
It's a hangout place, and shopping is secondary. You know, the means of meet is more important than anything. And I believe that this will generate sales because you're there. There's a lot of people hang out. Eventually, people buy. That's
Yeah.
my con.
I really remember walking into that shop and feeling like I was entering into like a lifestyle. Like it wasn't about buying something, but it was about being there,
Right. Correct.
right? I
You
felt
got it.
that.
Yes.
I
Yes.
felt that. And that was real. And the
Yeah.
shirt was almost just like the leftover, like it's almost like a souvenir of the moment. It wasn't like I go there to get the shirt. I have the shirt, not so much. It's
I got the shirt I'm gonna represent. I love so much the shit that
yes,
I'm gonna represent.
it was secondary.
Yep. Yeah.
Did it go?
Yeah.
Did the clothing recently relaunch? Because I know I saw that you have a lot of stuff on your website. You have
Yes.
stuff for sale on the
3 years.
website. Is that a new
Yes.
launch?
Well, you can consider that because it's a new site. Yeah. The last after I came back from Rye, I came back to New York on the
Oh,
COVID time. I
yeah,
start setting up a new Liquid Sky.
yeah. Do you have any stuff dead stock from the era? Do you have like unworn jeans, never sold stuff? Do you have old shirts? Do you have any of that stuff?
I have very few. I sold a couple through the years,
Yeah.
but very like affordable. I don't know. Yeah. I,
That stuff, like I look for that stuff on eBay. I'm always looking for that kind of vintage club early
right. No, I have friends
streetwear.
that I have a friend that collect Liquid Sky.
Wow.
It's like $400 a shirt minimum,
Yes. Yes.
$1,000 a Danny.
There,
really.
well, rightfully so. I mean, it's a relic of the past, truly. And this is another point I kind of wanted to get into. So the style, like that style that you um were so instrumental in, that clothing style, that fashion sense,
Oh yeah,
it kind of just went away. Like a lot, you see a lot of early streetwear companies, like I don't know, like Fucked. You saw like Fresh Jive, like the main, like the ones that became kind of something else, but they started like subversive. It wasn't
right,
quite skate. It wasn't quite surf. It was
right,
like that early streetwear. But like
right.
Liquid Sky and like companies like Q Ambient and stuff, even like Gat, maybe your contemporaries. Like there was never like a transition into like another style and the label becomes something else. Like, you know, in the same way that like tribal kind of became something else or
Right, right.
Echo became something else. Companies like Liquid Sky, like that was it. It just kind of went away for a while, or presumably it didn't like
Yeah,
evolve and change with the trends. It
no,
stayed in that.
correct.
So, can you kind of talk about that? Because that style of that era is so stamped to that era. It's not like it progressed and became something else. Even the kids now that are bringing that style back, it's not, it's like practically vintage stuff. It's not like there's new companies making that stuff. I mean, fuck Jenko. Like I was never into that. That was always like the mall brand of that style, right?
Correct. It's
Maybe it's
very popular to today.
yes. But my point is like companies such as yourself, companies like Q Ambient and I mean Kickware isn't a good example, but like we'll just say Liquid Sky, like you didn't transition into like, oh, so now we make stuff for lifestyle. Like no, it was clubwear and then it kind of just went away. Why do you think that was? Like why do you think that fashion
No,
is so kind of frozen in time? And not in a bad way, but just it's not something that's been revitalized and changed over time and moved with the times. It was very cemented in that
well,
era.
I think that there was a tentative to do so with in a high level with the Virgil Abloh. He got influenced by the rave scene and he tried to do something similar or some stuff between rave and hip hop. I think,
Yeah.
in New York City, rave and hip hop end up touching each other because I brought MCTC Islam and he was my MC. So, and he was Zulu Nation hip hop spokesperson. So, uh, of the fashion is a mix of hip hop and rave. And I don't know. I think was, like I knew that. I mean, I think the 20th century just end on 9/11 in September 2001. That's my understanding of history. And after that, uh, I think the fashion, uh, not only the fashion, the whole world went to a different direction. That was
Yeah.
already moving to a different direction. But I believe that people, it's a question just of revival.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing right now a limited edition, a reprint of. I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know if it can. I don't know if
Yep.
you can see.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes.
I,
Yes.
I my daughter printing up, like
Yes.
in a upcycle T-shirts, and we're gonna have two more on the sides, maybe. So, but we print. The question is like everything is limited because we do 48 pieces and that's it.
Yeah.
We don't do anything else.
Yeah.
But why we didn't evolve? Well, people went to different directions. I think. There was no more raves. There was club culture. Became ADM, like I said. Became
I think that's what makes it still so relevant is that Liquid Sky didn't want to, or well, it didn't kind of become this other thing to satisfy the market.
No, actually, actually, I don't know if I regret or not, but it's a debate because I'm poor, I could be rich. In '94, Hello Kitty won a licenses and give royalties. And I thought it was so little that I say no, but maybe wasn't that little. But anyway, yeah, maybe yes, maybe not. I'm not sure. I believe uh, in brand like I believe in uh, humans that there's a destiny, there's a way to go. Some brands or some styles goes away and then comes back way later. You know, re. I think that if there's money to invest on that, pretty sure that it could be successful again. The
Well,
jeans,
so
you know.
iconic.
Yes, no, people ask till today for those Dennings. Just an example. People really want those Dennings. They will buy if it was like $100 a
Yeah.
piece and produce a lot. Yes, but like I say, uh, you know, things need to be real to me. So for me to all those stuff to happen, it need to be a place first,
Yes.
so I can give or I can sell to the right person or to the person who wants that. And after that, I can think about the mass production or
Sure.
whatever.
And by the way,
Because people think opposite. People mass production and push. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, there's no concept of sellout anymore. It feels like there's no shame in that anymore, which
No,
kind of
it is everybody sell out. To sell, you gotta be a pimp in the internet.
yes,
So
yes,
you're selling out, you know.
yes. But there's like no shame in that. I'm saying for somebody from my generation and from your generation, like there's deep shame in that, but
Yeah.
there's no shame
No.
anymore in that.
No, there's no shame, there's no ethics, there's nothing, but it's not about this or that. It's this whole it's a Danish politics. So I'm
Yeah.
not gonna. This is beyond the scene or anything.
Right.
I think.
And by the way, I don't want to get bogged down in clothes. I don't want to get bogged down in fashion. I particularly like am fond of that era. I love the Liquid Sky label. But
Right.
let's talk more about the music, which is like it's nothing without it, right? So, what are drum and bass nights like now? Are people still like is it very vital still?
Look, like any style music, there is a beginning of experimentation because there's a transition. Then there's a solidification of a pattern, a character of this music, of identity, and then there is a evolution of this identity. So right now, people are getting, I think, uh, a lot of revival, a lot of uh, remembrancing of '94, '95, but with new style, better sonic, better sound design, because the technology today is better. So there is great tracks, there is great music, I think, but there's a lot of wacky stuff too. I mean, uh, and like any genre now, drum and bass or like any genre, it's just a agreed pattern for you to do whatever. It's a
Yeah.
composition. You can do whatever. You can play jazz or hip hop with the same beats
Yeah.
or the same tempo. So what I really it gets me a little bit too much right now is okay, the tracks are really fast. They're really fast. The trendy ones, and they all have speeded up voices, but they are not nice. It's just like because it's a trend. So I feel like, and then they're going really hardcore. like they almost going for 4-4. So the drum and bass almost losing the kick and snare, going just straight kicks
Right.
sometimes.
There was such a
Uh,
marvelous like swing to 90s drum and bass and jungle.
right.
On the surface level, it was really fast and hyper, but the longer that you stuck around with it, the slower you kind of caught the swing of
Yeah,
things.
you saw the half bass, the half tempo, or the bass, and all
Yes.
the fillings and all yeah, the nuances. Yeah,
Yeah. Do you still have your records? Like your record collection?
I I have a couple there. Not really all. No.
At one point, did you have a massive collection?
Yes, I have over 5,000.
What happened? Did you
I lost in Phoenix, Arizona. Somebody's supposed to pay the rent and didn't pay. I went to auction my records in Phoenix, Arizona
Wow.
in 2006, maybe.
Oh, that sucks. So did it go to one person or did they auction them
I don't
all
know.
separately?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Wow. And you had 5,000 records?
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So what do you do now? MP3s?
Yeah. Wave files, MP3s, honestly, I don't use records anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's much easier on your back and shoulders, I imagine.
I mean, I use a USB file, bring it. It's not the same. It's not the same feeling.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
But
But
the speakers are nicer, right? The systems are better.
no. Oh no, the sound quality is better. Sure.
Top 5 New York clubs of the 90s. Let's hear them.
Wow. Limelight, the tunnel. In the early 90s, there was Red Zone and Danceteria. But then the world, Save the Robots, uh, Concrete Jungle.
When you would come to Miami, did you play any? Would you come to Miami and play?
I played, I think, in 99 and 2000.
I was long
And
gone by then. I was in New York by then.
I played a couple of them. Yeah, in the 90s, I played a couple of times.
But
And I play on.
you would mostly have parties in your shop. Was that the story?
No, no, we had
Okay.
parties everywhere. We had
Okay.
parties in clubs, parties in warehouses, parties in
Yeah.
Brooklyn,
Yeah.
real raves. Yes.
How did that like how did you get the word out? Would the word just naturally spread? Did you work with promoters?
Uh, well, the first shop attracted a lot of people. We have like a shop in Soho, Broome and
Yes.
Worcester.
I was that's the one I've been to.
So, oh, and Broome and Worcester? No, Broome and Worcester was not. Was from 90 to 92.
Oh, then okay. I
By
was at
nine,
the second one.
you were on Lafayette Street, right? On Lafayette Street, we already been on NASA.
Hmm.
So I was NASA DJ. I started being, but the first shop was the shop that started everything. You know, I met I met all people from Giant Step, 55 Soul Camela,
Uh-huh.
all the downtown crews I met in the first shop. Tom Sachs used to do furniture.
Very cool.
Uh, Toby Mott, who did the first Doggy Fresh video. I
Wow.
got his furniture was like a Con Edison and police barricade furniture. Is fucking amazing at the
Yeah.
time.
So
Uh,
where would you play? Would you just be in lofts? Like at first, like how did that kind of start with you guys?
I
How did you
play. I have like a weekly with Romeo from Girl Loves Boy. It was a hair salon on Thompson Street area. No area, Quick, which is the club after area
Okay.
where now then became Shelter and then later became NASA. Quick
Wow.
was a fest actually was open. Yeah, I started on Quick
Wow.
playing Quick and then I played warehouses with Finbar from Renegade Soundwave.
Uh-huh. What a time. That's incredible. So is all of that kind of chronicled in the book?
There's some stuff in the book, yes. There's
Yeah.
some. I mean, the book's not my book, number one. It's a book that I contribute and gave my story and is about me, but it's not my book.
I understand.
So, yeah. So this guy, what's interesting is that he interviewed Moby, Chloe Sevigny, Gabriel Hunter, Paul Miller, DJ Spooky, Sarah Matarazzo, which is owns now run a whole show together, but she was work for Liquid Sky. So there was like many different characters that were interviewed. So there's this nuance up there talking about Liquid Sky.
I mean,
There's
it
a lot
was
of photographers, contributors that the pictures, I think pictures are good.
such an impact. You had such an
Pictures tells a
impact on
story.
culture, such a wide impact on culture. The logo is iconic. The sounds are so specific to, like, you hear that, and Liquid Sky has made such a dent on things, such an impression on things. It's so cool to see it being revitalized and coming back into like
And there's a new
conversation.
generation,
Yes.
and this new generation reinterpret things, whatever. Like we learn, like I say, like I learned from Dada, from Vivian Westwood, from whatever. It's all influence of. I mean, what among many other influence, but they're a very strong influence for
Yeah.
the nation of the brand.
But it makes sense also because, like, of what we were talking about earlier, the fact that it you didn't sell out, it didn't get watered down, it didn't become this kind of bland brand. It's
It's still
very
underground.
still
Yeah.
underground. It's very specific to a
Yes.
time, and the time that it's specific to, you made a very specific mark on it that
Right.
attracted.
But to me, I think the logo transcend any time and space. And I think this logo is universal. And there's ideas behind the logos that transcend any time and space. And that's really what the character, you know, uh, telling everyone that you are part of the simulation and uh, you are the simulation and you are simulating right now.